guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Amy Cooper. Today I'm going to do a summery bronzy makeup, really fresh and glowy. It's quite cold outside, we're not in summer anymore, but I don't really mind. I always feel so much better when I'm like bronzy and glowy. Anyway, so I'm going to get into it. My first product I'm starting off with is Strobe Cream by MAC. This is the Goldlite color. And this is going to really give us that like glow from within skin. I think that's all I'm going to do for prep today. I've already got some like eye cream on and other products that I put on this morning. For foundation, I'm actually going to mix two together. I'm using Estee Lauder's Double Wear foundation, and I'm going to mix a couple of drops of MAC's Face and Body in with it as well. Estee Lauder Double Wear is quite a matte foundation, so by using the Face and Body in with it, it's going to give it a little bit more glow. So I've got the two on my hand and I'm mixing them together. The other reason why I'm doing this is the Estee Lauder is probably a little bit too dark for me right now, so the Face and Body is just going to lighten it slightly. So I'm using kind of pressing motions to press that product in. So I'm really building like a medium coverage, nothing too heavy. I really like Estee Lauder's Double Wear. I'm quite a new fan of this. I've just recently put it in my kit, even though it's such like a oldie. I've never used it before, but I really quite like it. I'm gonna brighten underneath the eyes with a lighter concealer. This is MAC's Studio Fix 24-Hour Wear Concealer. Popping it underneath the eyes, bringing it down slightly on the cheeks. Also gonna do a little bit on the forehead, center of the nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit on the chin. And that's gonna help give me a little bit more dimension to the face. And we're really just taking our time to kind of blend that in with the foundation so that our edges are really nice and soft. And the brush I'm using is I think it's a setting brush by Real Techniques. It's one of the first brushes I ever bought and I still use it. Using a smaller brush for the nose so it doesn't blend too far out. Oh no. Next I'm going to cream contour the face, and this is going to add a little bit of dimension where I need it. I find creams work really beautifully for looks like this because we want everything to look really fresh and dewy and not too powdery. So by using creams, we're going to achieve that really quickly. I'm going to be using a MAC stick. This has a cream contour and a cream highlighter on one end. It was a limited edition, so you can't get this anymore. Sorry, but there's so many brands that do something similar to this anyway. I'm going to use the top of the ear as a guide and draw a line down like that. I like to bring mine up slightly, almost around the cheek, a little bit on the forehead, and I kind of like to go almost around the eye socket, a little bit on the jaw. I like to do the bottom of the lip because it gives it a really pouty look, and then the side of the nose. Cool, so you're gonna look a bit ridiculous before you blend it out. I'm going to be using the same brush we highlighted with. You can just like clean it off on the back of your hand. We're just gonna slowly blend that out. We wanna kind of blend upwards, not down. We want this to be nice and sharp and clean. If you're using a product that's a bit more matte and doesn't have as much blend, you don't have to do all the lines first. You could just draw one and blend it out before you do the next line. I do like to go with the smaller brush for the nose just to keep it still quite defined. And then if you need to, if you just want to add like a tiny little bit more, you can just go in with your brush with the product instead of drawing lines and then add more that way. I find that that's quite easy. I actually haven't used this highlighter end. Yeah, that's nice. It's definitely like more of a goldy highlight, but I don't mind it. So popping the highlight on the cheekbone, and then I love just slightly on top of the brow. So I'm not going to use a face powder to set my makeup today. If you do have a more oilier skin, feel free to powder. I just love creams, like I don't love a lot of powder, so I'm not going to do that step today. I am going to bronze my skin using MAC's Mineralized powder in the color medium dark. It's a really nice kind of warmer brown shade without being too dark. I'm just going to pop this on top of where we cream contoured, and this is going to help set the product in place and just add a little bit more color. If you are struggling with your creams looking slightly on the patchy side, this is going to help. And using a brush like this is really lovely because it's not going to pack the product on too heavy. It's a really fluffy brush, so the application is going to be really, really light. I'm going to add a little bit of blush, one of these colors from the Dream Queen palette from MeccaMax. I'm just going to use the same brush because I don't want anything too intense. Use the color Hazy. I'm going to run a little bit of that product over my nose and just on the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to be using a glowy bronzer. This is the color Cheeky Bronze by MAC. I'm going to pop a little bit of that on the same brush we used before, and I'm going to pop it on top of the highlighter and the cheek, and it's almost going to be like a cheek topper. I'm going to give my skin a spray now. Onto brows. I have been using Soap Brow. I've literally just bought a clear soap and popped it in an old moisturizer container. So we're going to push up the brow. And I'm going to use a brow pencil. This is the Shape&Tint by MAC, just to fill in a couple of the gaps. I feel very bronzy right now. I don't know if I've ever done it. Nah. All right, on to eyes. I'm excited to finish this look. And press record. I've just done my whole eye. What a joke. All right, I've just taken one eye off so I can film it and actually talk through what I've done. So that's what it looks like halfway. So I'm just going to prep my eye using a bit of concealer. I'm going to use a little bit of the bronzer that we used on the face in the crease of the eye to warm up the socket. And this just helps everything to blend well together. And with my big brush, I go from my crease up into my temple to kind of blend those two together. So for eyeshadow, I'm whipping out my palette that is one that I've made myself. It's mostly MAC shadows, but we've got a couple of other shadows in the mix. I'm going to pop a little bit of the color Uninterrupted, which is a kind of mustardy tone. And I'm going to pop a little bit under the lower lash line as well. I'm using a kind of darker brown in the crease and the outer corner. And this will help darken everything up. And I'm going to put that same color on the lower lash line all the way across. Now it's not really a bronzy eye without a little bit of gold. This is Amber Lights. And you can go back in with your darker shades to blend those two together. And then grabbing out Bobbi Brown's Luxe eyeshadow. This is in the color Moonstone. And I'm just going to pop that in the inner corner of the eye, making my way into the gold. To lighten up the eye, I'm going in with Nylon, which is a really light shimmer. So I'm popping that on the brow bone and the inner corner of the eye. I think that's where I got up to on this eye before my camera cut out. So I'm going to darken the eye up just slightly. You could leave it here and just pop a bit of mascara on. I'm going to go in with a darker color. This one is Embark. Using a pointed brush on the outer corner and on the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with a black pencil liner just in the waterline and a little bit in the lower lash line. This is a ModelsPrefer eyeliner. It's actually really good for the price. It does not move, which is fantastic. And then just a little bit on the outer corner of the eye, and then we're going to smudge that out. This does set, so I'm doing one eye at a time. Very nice. I am going to do some lashes, but you could totally just finish on mascara. Cool, so I'm going to pop lashes off camera and then I'll come back and finish off the look. Okay, great, so lashes are on. We're going to move on to lips. I'm using Dervish Lip Pencil by MAC. Lipstick by Bobbi Brown in the colour Angel. It's a really soft pink. To finish off with, I'm using a lip topper by Revolution. This is in Rose Quartz. Alright guys, the look is done. I hope you liked following along this tutorial. If you did, give me a thumbs up, write a comment down below, come and say hi. Alright guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!